STAKK Nation, welcome back to the channel.
Champions!
Today we're going to be talking about something that you know, but you don't know that you know it. But you know it, okay? What is a Bitcoin address? Straight to the point here.
Yes, sir.
As you know, obviously, Bitcoin has been around for a while. While many are now advanced users, you could say, of the Bitcoin environment.
Catching up.
Something that has not changed is the fact that there is still a massive amount of people, a plethora, if you will, a monumental count of human beings who still do not understand what Bitcoin is. And most importantly, they also do not understand what money is. We hope you guys can catch up. Otherwise, you will be forever on TikTok crying about how life is difficult. No shade. Anyway, what is a Bitcoin address? Double up.
Man, if you remember back in the day when email addresses first came out.
Yes, I remember
and
that.
people were like, oh, why would you put a name and then the @ and then the .com? It was so confusing.
Absolutely.
Right? It's like info@stackfin.com. It's simple.
So it's an identifier.
Simple like that. It's
So
for
sort of like if you're going to send manual mail, the person's home address, which you, okay.
You don't need the old back-end HTTPS and all the SS mail and all the different stuff.
Yeah.
You just need a simple email.
Listen, one string of strange characters is what it is. You may have seen these before somewhere. These alphanumeric characters that you will generally see when you have a Bitcoin address is essentially what receives and I guess technically holds your Bitcoin. Like Double O said, you can think of it as that address. Right now, people use Cash App. Is one of the things I also liken it to. And if you're going to send someone money on Cash App, there's a couple things you might need, or at least one important thing you might need. The person's phone number, right? And you can send them, or a username.
Correct.
Same thing if you're on Zelle. So it seems that this address then, as we showed you there, replaces that unique identifier for yourself.
I would like to add to that.
Go for it.
On Cash App and Zelle,
Yeah.
you still need to configure a Zelle account or a Cash App account to connect to a bank account for final settlements. On Bitcoin, you can change value. It doesn't even have to be money. It could be pictures, it could be information. On the Bitcoin network, you and I can trade value directly without having to need that middleman.
Absolutely. It's like handing over cash to someone.
Just like that.
Final settlements.
Yep.
Now, of course, something to notice as you dive into this Bitcoin realm and you start using some addresses, you will notice that some of these addresses are maybe of different lengths. Some of them don't even start, with a BC. But here are the key things you want to pay attention to. All of these different address formats are definitely Bitcoin addresses. They're just using different formats known as Bitch32. I feel like nobody's going to get exactly what I mean there. They're going to think that I said Bitch32. But that's fine. Sometimes there are Bitch32s out there.
But this type of Bitch32 was intended to protect you. It was configured that way.
Yes. Cryptographic activities is what it is. So generally you will see your Bitcoin addresses will either start with like a 1L, 3E, or BC1. Right? These are the mainnet addresses. Now, once you create a transaction, right, or you send a transaction from your Bitcoin address, there's a couple things that you can do to ensure your privacy as you use it. But before we jump into that, we're going to touch on the other way which you can send and receive value over the Bitcoin network. The main one right now is the Lightning Network.
Yes, sir.
How do you feel about the Lightning Network, sir? Talk to the people.
Yeah, so you probably will still turn on the TV or get on the internet and someone will tell you, oh, Bitcoin is super slow. You can't do anything on the Bitcoin network because the network is super limited.
Right.
Some smart brains have come together to say, you know what, that is false. You can do everything that you can do on the network off the network, still on the blockchain, and update it 10 minutes later and still verify.
Mm-hmm.
That's basically what Lightning Network does, and it does it way much faster.
Way faster. That final settlement, especially.
And still secure.
Way faster. Right. Now, when you use this Lightning address, right?
Yes.
Obviously, it's not going to be the same address like when you use your Bitcoin addresses.
Again, configured for your safety.
Right. So the Lightning Network then is an alternative way for you to be able to exchange its value.
Mm-hmm.
This is built on Bitcoin's second layer.
Yep.
Right. The transactions do not happen on the Bitcoin network itself. Is the one thing to understand with this situation.
Yes, sir.
They do not use Bitcoin addresses either. It's essentially what Lightning uses is what they call invoices.
Yes.
So there's this system of invoices that are used as the primary method of transferring these Bitcoins from one person to the other. Unchained has a really good write-up on this, describing, simplifying all of these ideas. We recommend you check these things out. There are many other sites there out there as well, starting with bitcoin.org itself. A great resource. All right. Now, in the situation of Lightning, what happens here is that the receiver, the person that you're going to be paying, is going to create an invoice with the particular amount that you're going to be paying them. And so now they send you this invoice. Now, obviously, with the invoice that the Lightning that you'll get from a Lightning application, these addresses are much, much longer. So you might not be able to type it. So we recommend copying and pasting to send those addresses, or you can just use a QR code to scan and pay instantly. It's as fast as anything that you've used out there, I would say.
Yep.
All right. Now, one thing that you mentioned at Double O was this idea of protecting you, and privacy is one of those things. While Bitcoin is not, its operation is not private, your use of Bitcoin and how you move on the Bitcoin blockchain is something that you want to be informed on. This way you can preserve your privacy as you use the Bitcoin network, right? One of those ways then will be to always use a new address when you're receiving. You have any inputs on that one?
Yes. So unlike your email,
Yes.
when you have just one email address, and once you share it, everybody has that email address.
Right.
Bitcoin is actually a lot more secure than your email because you can have thousands. You can generate multiple addresses and it will still go into your wallet.
Absolutely.
So that is an extreme security settings or configuration that comes with the actual blockchain that most other technologies do not have.
Incredible.
I would also add that it's not only money that you get to exchange on this network. You can exchange information. You can exchange anything that you consider value. And on the same blockchain, with whatever address that you pick, which is specifically designed on the blockchain, ensures that secure transfer of that transaction, which is what makes it one of the things that makes Bitcoin super unique that people don't even want to talk about.
You know, I'm about to make Bitcoin click for someone right now. Okay. Think about this. You're sitting at home and you order pizza from, I don't know,
Pizza Hut, Domino's,
one of them. And then you call another pizza place. Maybe it's like a small Italian family-owned situation.
Papa John's.
And you order pizza from them. Yeah. And then maybe you call, I don't know, who else makes pizza? Someone that makes horrible pizza. Maybe you call Popeyes. You're like, I want some pizza. All of these people are bringing pizza to your house, right? But check this out. Imagine this. You gave Papa John's a different address. You gave the other person a different address, right? Little Italiano family-owned pizza situation. You gave them a different address. And of course, you gave Popeyes a different address as well. However, all of these companies or these pizza situations show up to your same house and deliver this to you, or your pizza to you, right? But then the next time that they use that address to try to come to your house without you calling them, it turns out that they cannot make it to your house. This is the idea of having this refreshing wallet addresses, or just using a new address, right? So it's definitely a great feature for privacy, right? Since especially when someone has your address, they can easily now track and maybe search or follow your wallet balance. So that's a great privacy feature that the Bitcoin network itself provides.
It's actually an interesting present point for the religious folks among us.
Yeah.
Some who say, "Oh, Bitcoin is that eye of the devil, the all-seeing eye that was talked about in the Revelations."
Yes.
And here is the answer: it's no way close to what a CBDC would do, which is just still same address. This gives you an address that is unique to you and does not directly link to you. You don't have to put an ID or attach a name to your address.
Absolutely.
Totally different from what an email or a CBDC would do.
Well, I'm not going to address the religious people today. Okay? I'm just going to say they would describe anything as the eye of the beast.
Yeah, but we just answered that here now.
Yeah.
This is fact that it isn't.
Yeah, there we go. Now, one thing you want to do as you send out Bitcoin, right? You want to make sure the address is correct. As we previously discussed, we're looking at a string, right? It's no longer just a phone number or a simple email, even though there are some Lightning addresses right now that are just an email. But when you're using your Bitcoin wallet to send, it's recommended that you copy that address and paste it, or use the QR code to minimize the possibilities of an error. Now, why would you want to do this? One thing that happens on the Bitcoin network is if you send an address or if you send funds, right, or anything to the wrong address, there is no almost no possibilities of recovering those funds if you're sending it to the wrong address. This is not to say you can easily make a transaction to a wrong wallet, because there are things in place. I could check some that will allow for to make sure that when an address is incorrect, likely if you're typing it or you erase something, you're going to get that error message. Yep. So it's really difficult to mess this up.
And there's a very huge chance that address will be wrong, because there is none like it.
Yeah,
it's very unique.
Yeah, it's a very unique address. In fact, I think it's 1 in 40. Is it 1 in 40 million or 400,000 chances of you
sending it to the wrong address?
Exactly. So
even with one misspelled word.
Listen, I know. What was it? Apple recently made an error where they sent a bunch of money to a bunch of different people.
Apple, Cash App, and everything. Yeah, that would never happen on the Lightning network.
That is yet to happen on the Bitcoin network. Right now, for the beginners here, we want to simplify this all the way so that you understand how this configuration works. When you create a Bitcoin wallet, it's going to give you a seed phrase. That seed phrase is the one that everyone will generally tell you to hide it, do not lose it, etc., etc. That is at the very top of this chart. But this key phrase now holds an XPub.
An extended public key.
Extended public key is what that is.
Yeah.
Now, let's say you created a wallet. It's going to have an XPub. Then you created another wallet inside the same app. That's going to have its own XPub.
It's on different XPub.
Yeah. And they created another wallet, and it's going to have another XPub. Now, if you created a wallet and combined it with another wallet XPub and another wallet XPub, now you're multi-sig. It's okay if you do not get it, but looking at this chart here, the whole point then is when you create your wallet, those keys, those words that are given to you, that is the master key. That master key is connected to the key that holds your wallet, which creates those addresses.
That holds your valuables.
Exactly. So this is how come, despite the fact that you can send out multiple addresses and you can use multiple addresses to come back to your same wallet, they're all coming back to the same XPub or extended public key. So while people can see the extended public key, they cannot necessarily see your
Master key.
Right? And that is what keeps you safe, and or at least that is how these addresses are created, and this is what keeps you safe with this rotating address situation. Anything else you want to add to that, Double O?
That was a beautiful check because I was going to use the bank as an example.
Yeah.
So you put your money in the bank, right?
Okay.
One physical location.
Yeah.
Or one digital location. The bank gets robbed. Even with that, the thief not knowing your keys to your lock,
right?
Your goods, your diamonds, your money is still gone.
It's gone.
Do you get it? This is what makes Bitcoin different. It's like you have multiple keys. One big tough point though is your private key, which is you literally have to really, really secure that.
Yeah.
But getting access to your valuables is a much harder than the banking system today.
Absolutely. Superior technology, as it has been called by Fidelity themselves, not our words. Ladies and gentlemen, we hope you found this helpful. Anything else you want to add on to this?
No, money is changing. The store and the way that you store your money is also changing.
It is definitely changing. And we are doing our part to make sure that you are informed on the best way to store your money. So, with no further ado, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to call this one here. We hope you found this extremely interesting, right? If you found any value in this, be sure to like, share, subscribe. Okay? Tell your friends to tell your friends. We are now at 1,300 subs. You know, they say greatness moves slowly but steady. We are where we are supposed to be, man, and it feels great.
Yes, sir.
The grind, the effort continues, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all for rocking with us every day. Here's one thing I'd like to remind you of. Be sure to wait. I already told you guys about that one. Of course, subscribe now. Yeah, you see the action. Be sure to follow us on Twitter as well, STAKK, and of course on Spotify. We're also on Nostr now.
Yes.
Just look up STAKK. Yep. Yes, we're also STAKK on Nostr. We're adding that on there pretty soon as well. With no further ado, praise and out.